So this is going to be very weird for me. I mean, this isn't really a face reveal because it won't be a face reveal. I'll have my face censored. But I've never really done this kind of thing before, like staring into the camera. It feels weird for me. Today I'll be showing you guys how to turn an old PC into a TrueNAS Scale server, specifically for media. I won't be showing you anything else. You can do a lot more with it, but I'll only be showing the media part. My old PC was a full complete PC. I did sell the GPU, and my CPU didn't have any integrated graphics. So the other things I got for this build is a GTX 970, which I found to use for a reasonable price on a website called Radarr. I'll show a picture of it right here. And then I put in a Seagate Barracuda ST5000DM0035 terabyte hard drive, which has 5,400 RPM, which was bought refurbished, factory refurbished, so it's okay, on a Danish website called CompuMail. I also bought two Seagate Barracuda ST1200 DM0007s, which is 12 terabyte SATA drives with 7,200 RPM on the same website. I also have an NSETA XT case. I do not know what kind, but it has 8 drive bays and they're screwless. I'll be using that. Though for this build, you don't need a GPU, a CPU with at least 4 cores, I'd say, and integrated graphics is what I'd recommend. An Ethernet connection as well. It's TrueNAS, and you can't use Wi-Fi on there, as far as I'm aware. And an SSD boot drive will be recommended, or SATA or NVMe, because it's for booting up. It'll be really slow if you don't have that. It doesn't need to be a big drive. The one I have is 256 because I got it for free. But it can just be a 120 gigabytes or less, actually. For the storage in itself, like hard drive wise, I recommend at least 5 terabytes. You can use SSDs or hard drives. SSDs are typically more expensive. They are, though, faster, which could be good, but hard drives are more than enough for accessing media. I'll be showing you how to install this list of applications right here. Radarr is for movies, Sonarr is TV shows, Prowlarr is an indexer for searching, and WireGuard is for the remote access. So you can gain access to the server from anywhere you want, really. I'll also be showing you how to install qBittorrent for installing things using a torrent client. Of course, I will not be showing you any piracy websites, and this, of course, I don't endorse piracy. You will only be, of course, using this for legal purposes. If you don't, that's not on me, that's on you. I will also be showing you how to add the PC or the network pools as like a storage drive on your PC, so you can easily access the files from your main PC or laptop. If you've already fully built a PC and you don't need to build one, you can skip ahead to this timestamp right here that's on screen. So you can just get to installing the applications. And for those building the system from the ground up, as I am, stay tuned as I walk you through the process step by step. Now, after you've fully built your PC, or if you already had a full built PC, I'll be showing you how to download TrueNAS Scale and put it onto a USB so you can use it as a installation media drive. First thing you need is a USB, of course. You plug it into your PC, as easy as that. Then you go online. You go to this link that'll be in the description, TrueNAS.com. You can log in or whatever. You don't need to. You can just click no thank you. I've already signed up. Then you download the most stable version. I've already done this. Then you'll need to download something called Balena Etcher. You look it up. You go on the first link. You download it. Simple as that. Once it's installed, you open it up. And as soon as you have the ISO installed as well, you click Flash from File. You choose the file. You need to select the boot drive. Mine's not plugged in because I've already done it, but you select the boot drive. And then you click Flash, and then you wait for it to be finished installing and finish verifying. And when it's done with that, you just unplug it. You might do a little funny pop-up where it says, oh, you might need to format drive. You just click cancel, and you pull out the drive. And then when you're done, you plug it into your PC, and I'll show you that now. When you're done with all that, you plug in the USB drive. I'll be plugging mine in on the back here. And then you boot on the PC. Now you just wait for it to boot up. And when it's booting up, you'll quickly have to click the key to go into your BIOS. In my case, it's the delete key. It might also be for you, but it'll show on screen what key you need to press to enter your BIOS. Then after that, you'll have to select the USB stick as your boot drive. And when you get to this screen, you click enter on the Start TrueNAS Scale installation, and then you just wait for it to finish installing. When it installs, and then you choose install/upgrade. You arrow keys again, then you hit enter. And then you see you have maybe more than one drive here. If you have more than one SSD, I don't know. Choose the boot drive you want. You choose it with the arrow keys. You hit space this time to select it, and then you click enter. If you don't do this, it'll just keep asking you for a drive, and you won't get anywhere. Then this will erase all the data on the SSD or whatever. So if you have anything on it, back that up before you do all this. You click enter again. Then you can choose configure using web ID, web UI, or administrative user, TrueNAS admin. I choose the second option because then you can choose the password and whatnot on the web UI for when you are configuring your whole system. Allow EFI to boot. Yes. If it asks for this, yes. I'll format the disk and install the operating system on it. This might take some time, so I will come back to when it's done doing that. When it's done installing, you'll have to remove the USB stick from the PC and then reboot the system. And here you have to choose TrueNAS by clicking enter, or you can wait 10 seconds and it'll automatically boot into the operating system. Then you just wait for it to load. This may take a little while, so just be patient with it. Then on your main PC, you'll have to go to one of the two IPs under the web user interface. TrueNAS drive here. Then you just type in the IP. In my case, it'll be this. I will probably have that censored. I'm not too sure if I should be sharing that. And then you load it up. It'll say you can choose root user, not recommended at all, actually. Then there's the administrative user. Remember the username will be TrueNAS_admin. You set whatever password you want. Then you click sign in. And it's actually as simple as that. Now you have one with TrueNAS on it. You can reorganize any of this however you'd like. And then I'll be showing you how to set up a storage data pool and how to access that on your main PC. Which I will be getting to here shortly. As you can see, my dashboard is still very empty, so you'll be clicking create pool, and you'll be having to go through this pool creation wizard here, and you can name your storage pool whatever you'd like. I'm going to call mine NAS-storage, and you're going to choose what kind of data layout type you'd want. I'm going to choose stripe, which means no data like mirroring, no anything like that. If you want to mirror your drives, so if one dies, the other one you'll still keep all your data, you won't lose it. You can choose any of the RAID types, but I don't really care about the media or like data on this thing, so if one of the drives dies, it'll be fine. I don't really care. I'll be choosing stripe. And if you're like me, you can choose that as well. Then next you'll be clicking on manual disk selection, and then you'll click add up in the top right corner. If you have different sized disks, you'll have to make 2 different VDEVs, one with the one type of size disk, and then the other with the other ones. Like what I have here is a 5 terabyte and 2 12 terabytes, so I'll be making 2 different ones. And then all the other optional things you can just skip through, you won't be needing that, and then you'll just have to click create pool. And it's just like that, and you'll have to sit here and wait for a little bit while it creates the pool of the different drives. Depending on the size, it might take longer, but it shouldn't take too long. And just like that, you have your first TrueNAS Scale storage pool. So now to be able to view your storage server on your PC, like your main PC, and not just on the web UI here, or on the machine itself, you go from the dashboard to datasets, then you right click your storage here. As you can see, I've made a few. And then you click add dataset, you SMB, you name it SMB, you give it a name, I'm just test, and then you put the same here, and you save it. In your case, it will be the top one here, so there wouldn't be anything else inside here. And then you'll be able to go to your storage folder here, scroll down to networks, TrueNAS, and then you'll see all of your stuff in here, and that is how you view the storage from another device. Now to install Jellyfin, you go to apps, and then you click discover apps, and then you search for Jellyfin. And you click it, and you click install. Then you can set your time zone if you want to. I will be doing it. You don't need to. It's just nice for logs because it'll show in the right time zone and date and all that. For if there are any issues, it's easier to check. Then you set the user ID to 1000 and the group ID to 1000. This is to make sure that the Jellyfin app has access to the correct folders with permissions and all. And then we go and add additional storage. You set it to host path, and then as the path you set wherever you have your media stored. And then as the mount path you do / whatever you really want. I'm just going to put NAS storage media. And then you scroll down and hit install. Then a little time will pass where it just installs. Just be patient with it. It might take a little bit of time. Really depends on your hardware. Now when it's done installing, you'll see that it says status deploying. As soon as it says running, you'll be able to click the web UI button, which will take you to the IP and website port for the Jellyfin application, where you'll then be able to set up everything you need. Then we'll just quickly go through the setup. It's just setting a username, your password, all that stuff. I'll just quickly go over it because, I mean, it's straightforward. You'll just have to follow what it says on screen. And then you add your media library by first doing movies and then shows, music as well if you have that. And when you're done, it'll take you to the login screen for your Jellyfin server. You just log in with the username and password you set at the start of the setup. And then all your media library should show up. If it doesn't, it might mean that the media library is still being scanned to check what files you have. That can take a long time depending on how much you have. Like storage-wise, let's say you have like 3 terabytes of movies or like 200 movies in general. That will take a long time to scan the first time around. And then as you can see, when it's done loading in for me and I go back to the main dashboard, all of the files and movies I have are now available for me to watch. Then we'll be installing Prowlarr. You're basically going to do the exact same thing. You go to apps, you click discover apps, you search up the app, and you go to install, you fill in all this stuff, 1000 for user ID, 1000 for group ID. You go to extra storage, you set it to the host media, all that, the mount path, be whatever you want it to be, and then you just scroll down and click install and wait for it to boot up, and then we'll have to configure it from there. Then you'll have to click the add new indexer button. Be sure to only choose ones that you know are safe. There's a whole list of it on Reddit somewhere. I cannot tell you where because YouTube guidelines and all that. If you are in my Discord, you can ask me. The link for that is in the description. Also, make sure they're public unless you want, because there are some that are paid and you have to log in and all that. And you can set a language filter search for that as well. Like if you want specific sites in English, you set it to English. But like let's say you're, I don't know, from Spain and you want your media in Spanish, you can set it to Spanish, and there'll be a Spanish website for that most likely as well. There is also currently an error with a lot of the indexers because they're blocked by Cloudflare, or the connection is blocked by Cloudflare through Prowlarr, and you can't really do much about that at the moment, and I don't think there will ever be a fix for it. Next thing we'll be doing is installing qBittorrent for downloading various files. You'll have to go through the installation progress. It's more or less the same, except for the fact that when it's up and running, you'll have to check in and click on the logs. You can get the default username, which is admin, and the randomly generated password, which you will have to change after you've fully set it up. Then when you've opened the web UI for qBittorrent, you go to the settings, which is in the top left. It's the little cogwheel button. It'll say options when you hover over it. Then you go to the web UI page, and then it'll say username and password. Just leave the username as the default. Set the password to whatever you want, preferably something secure, so people can't just download random torrent files to your PC. That wouldn't be very great. And then you scroll down and click save when you're done. Now that's fully set up, you'll be able to go to your Prowlarr, which you installed earlier, go to the settings and then download clients, and then click qBittorrent, where you'll have to insert the host IP and port for your qBittorrent interface, and then type in your username, which is probably still admin, and then the password you just set. And then you should be able to click test to see if it'll connect. And if it does, then you can click save and it should just work. Then you can test that by going to your indexers page and searching up literally anything, like any movie, anything like that. And then you click the download button on the right side, and you should be able to go into your qBittorrent UI and see that it's downloading a movie or whatever else you searched up. And just like before, you go to apps, you search for the app you want, in this case, Radarr. Then you click then you go through the installation process, and do remember to check additional storage, and then add the media folder again with /NAS storage /media as the mount path. In my case, you can put whatever. I'm just doing it like this, so it's easier for me. Then after it's done installing and it's up and running, you click the web UI button again, and then you go through and set it up in there. Then first thing it'll ask you is to import your existing movies. You do that by clicking import existing movies and then choosing your directory that you have your movies in. Then you'll have to open up Prowlarr again, where you have to go into the settings and then to apps, and then in there click on Radarr, where you'll then have to fill in everything it tells you to, the password for your Radarr account, the username, the host path, and port, as well as the API key, which you get by going into your settings, the general settings on Radarr. Then you go back to the settings in Radarr and you go to download clients and you click plus and you set up your qBittorrent like you did for Prowlarr earlier on. And then after that, you should be able to go to the search bar, search up any movie that you'd like, and just click install. And it's as easy as that. And then for Sonarr, it's much the same. When installing the app, you go through the exact same thing, same folder, all that. And then when you set it up, it's the exact same, except it has a different UI, and by different UI I mean different colors. But other than that, it's exactly the same, except for when you go to Prowlarr and set up the indexer, you go to the same place as the apps and you choose Sonarr instead of Radarr. The footage on screen is just a sped up version of basically what you'll have to do, but I don't feel like going over it again as it's exactly the same. Next, we'll be installing Tailscale for remote access. The first thing you'll be doing is going to the Tailscale website. Then you'll go to the dashboard and settings, and then to personal settings, which you can see down here on the bottom left, and then going to keys, where you'll then click generate auth key. Then you can give it a description if you'd like. You can change how long it lasts. You do need to set these up once in a while because they do not last forever. They last about 3 months at max. After that, you have to go make a new one and then change the auth key in TrueNAS Scale. And then you set Tailscale up really easily. It's just clicking install. You don't need to set any storage or anything like that. The only thing you need is you can set a host name. I just kept mine as TrueNAS Scale. And then you have to paste in that auth key you just copied. And then you just go down and click save and install. And now on any device you have the Tailscale client installed on, you should be able to go to the IP that Tailscale gives you, which you can see on your dashboard in Tailscale, and you connect to that instead of the normal device IP that you've been using until now. And then you should just be able to connect to it as simple as that, just a different IP. And for anyone to connect using Tailscale, they have to have it installed. You can have up to like 100 machines for free. So, I mean, that's pretty nice. You probably won't ever need more than that.